There are car brands still selling vehicles in the United States that most Americans probably haven't seen on the road in months. Their logos are still on dealership buildings. Their websites are still online. Their factories and executives still exist. But something has gone terribly wrong. Some of these brands are selling so few vehicles that a single successful model from a major automaker can outsell an entire brand by an astonishing margin. And the strangest part is that we're not talking about obscure startups you've never heard of. Some of these names once represented speed, luxury, engineering, and prestige around the world. Today, they are fighting for something much more basic: relevance. Because in the brutally competitive American car market, there is a point where selling too few cars becomes more than a bad quarter. It becomes a survival problem. And several familiar names are getting dangerously close to that point. Start with Alfa Romeo, the clearest contradiction in this story. In 2025, Alfa Romeo sold 5,652 vehicles in the United States, a collapse of 36% from the year before, roughly what a single busy Toyota dealership might move in Camrys and RAV4s alone. Its three American products, the Giulia sedan, the Stelvio SUV, and the smaller Tonale crossover, are aging. The Giulia and Stelvio fell 41%, and even the newer Tonale dropped 29% to just 2,414 units. Automotive journalists routinely praise these cars. The Giulia Quadrifoglio is considered by many enthusiast publications one of the best driving sports sedans money can buy, and yet almost nobody is buying it. Alfa Romeo has a fraction of the dealer footprint of BMW or Audi, leaving many interested buyers with nowhere convenient to test drive or service one. It is also fighting a long-standing, not entirely undeserved reputation for electrical problems and costly repairs, and asking premium prices for engineering that predates most of its rivals' current generation. Alfa Romeo proves an uncomfortable truth. Passion and critical acclaim do not automatically convert into sales. Desire is not demand. Jaguar's story is more dramatic because Jaguar essentially chose to disappear on purpose. In 2021, under a strategy called Reimagine, Jaguar Land Rover announced Jaguar would abandon its entire lineup, the F-Pace, XE, XF, and F-Type, and relaunch as an all-electric, ultra-luxury brand. Production and new sales were paused while the transformation took shape, and globally, Jaguar's registrations fell by more than 90% in some months of 2025 as the brand emptied its pipeline. American dealers were left with almost nothing new to sell, leaning on used inventory and service work just to survive. The new direction is a striking, controversial design language and a widely mocked car-free ad campaign. And Jaguar's first new model, a Grand Tourer expected to start above $130,000, has already been delayed. This is one of the largest gambles in modern automotive history. Jaguar is trying to rebuild itself as a boutique electric brand, competing with Porsche, Bentley, and Lucid, while its old customer base has nowhere left to go inside the brand. For the first time in over a century, Jaguar's American showroom presence has shrunk to almost nothing by design. Maserati tells a story about prestige without a coherent identity. Globally, Maserati sold approximately 7,900 vehicles in fiscal 2025, down roughly 30% and its worst result since 2012. Porsche alone sold more than 27,000 examples of its Macan SUV in the United States that year, meaning one Porsche model outsold Maserati's entire global lineup. The problem isn't that Maserati's cars are unattractive. The Gran Turismo is gorgeous, and the new MC Pura has drawn strong reviews. The problem is Maserati has never firmly established what kind of luxury brand it is. It lacks Ferrari's singular focus, Lamborghini's spectacle, and Porsche's engineering consistency and resale value. Its volume model, the Grecale, competes directly with the Macan and BMW X3 and simply hasn't found buyers. Stellantis has openly acknowledged the brand's struggles, and reports have circulated about a possible sale. When a parent company won't directly deny rumors it might sell a brand, that tells you how serious things are. Mitsubishi's decline looks nothing like the others because Mitsubishi hasn't vanished. It delivered 94,754 vehicles in 2025, down 14%, not a catastrophic number on its own. The deeper issue is relevance. Mitsubishi discontinued the Mirage, its cheapest model, removing an entry point for younger buyers, and today its lineup is thin. The Outlander, Outlander Sport, Eclipse Cross, and Outlander plug-in hybrid. Compare that to the sprawling lineups from Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, and Kia. Ford alone sold more F-Series trucks in 2025 than Mitsubishi sold vehicles, period. The real danger is generational. Ask an American in their 60s about Mitsubishi, and they'll remember the Eclipse or Lancer evolution. Ask someone in their 20s, and there's a real chance the brand barely registers, overshadowed by Hyundai and Kia's aggressive value SUV push. Mitsubishi isn't collapsing dramatically. It's fading quietly, generation by generation. Infiniti's struggle is about identity inside a larger corporate family. In 2025, Infiniti sold 52,846 vehicles in the United States, down 9% and down a staggering 65% from its 2017 peak of over 153,000. Its lineup has shrunk to essentially two real-volume nameplates, the QX60 and QX80, which together make up 84% of sales, while the QX50, QX55, and Q50 sedan have all wound down. Meanwhile, Lexus grew 7.1% that same year, extending a record run, and Acura also edged upward. Analysts point to a prolonged product lull, years without fast enough refreshes, while Genesis, a far younger brand, surged past 70,000 annual sales. Some Infiniti dealerships reportedly average just 24 sales a month, so low that several are combining showrooms with neighboring Nissan stores to survive. Infiniti is betting its future on a new SUV called the QX65, aiming for 100,000 annual sales by 2029, still barely two-thirds of what it once sold routinely. Infiniti's problem isn't styling or performance. It's that buyers can't articulate what Infiniti offers that Lexus, Acura, Genesis, BMW, or Audi don't already offer more convincingly. Put these five brands side by side, and a pattern emerges. The American market rewards scale and punishes fragmentation. Buyers gravitate toward dense dealer networks, proven reliability data, strong resale values, and coherent SUV lineups, since utility vehicles now dominate new car purchases. Low sales become a trap that feeds on itself. Fewer sales mean less revenue for dealerships, smaller marketing budgets, slower product cycles, and a brand that ages in the public imagination, reinforcing the very hesitation that caused the low sales in the first place. That is precisely the cycle Infiniti, Alfa Romeo, and Maserati are fighting right now. It's worth remembering that a logo staying on a dealership sign doesn't mean a brand is thriving. Existence on a street corner and relevance in the national conversation about what to buy are two very different things. None of this guarantees these five brands will vanish. Alfa Romeo's parent keeps investing in new platforms. Jaguar is mid-transformation rather than finished. Mitsubishi has a 5-year plan to widen its lineup, and Infiniti has staked real resources on the QX65. But the forces reshaping the industry, consolidation, the enormous cost of electrification, rising Chinese competition, climbing vehicle prices, and the sheer necessity of scale are not going away, and they will only make survival harder for brands operating at this size. What these five stories reveal is how quickly reputation and roads can drift apart. A brand can remain a nostalgic favorite in magazines and forums while steadily disappearing from the streets Americans actually drive every day. History and prestige built these names, but in the modern American car market, only consistent execution, broad accessibility, and relentless reliability keep a name in driveways. And once a brand loses that daily visibility, getting it back may be one of the hardest challenges in the entire auto industry.